Have you ever been in a relationship where, deep down, something just felt off? You couldn't quite put your finger on it. She wasn't angry. She wasn't openly distant. But the warmth, the spark, that natural flow you used to share, it wasn't there anymore. Most men ignore that gut feeling. They brush it off, hoping things will magically go back to normal. But here's the truth. When a woman starts to pull away, she rarely announces it. Instead, she leaves behind quiet, almost invisible signals, little shifts in how she talks, acts, and connects with you. And those signals matter because they're often the difference between saving a relationship or watching it crumble without ever knowing why. The hard part? Most men don't notice these 5 silent signs until it's too late. By the time they finally realize what's happening, her heart and mind have already checked out. But here's the good news. Once you know what to look for, everything changes. You'll see the patterns, the subtle cues, and the quiet withdrawals that others miss. You'll understand when she's slipping away, and you'll know whether to fight for the relationship or save yourself months, maybe even years, of frustration and heartbreak. So in this video, we're going to break down the 5 silent signs she's no longer invested in you. Each one might seem small on its own, but together, they reveal the truth most men never see until the very end. If you've ever wondered, is she still really with me or just going through the motions? Stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll have your answer. One of the very first signs a woman is no longer invested in you isn't always dramatic. It's not shouting, arguments, or slamming doors. It's something much quieter and much easier to miss: the way she communicates with you. Think back to how things were in the beginning. She couldn't wait to tell you about her day, the good, the bad, even the small random details. A funny thing her co-worker said, the new cafe she tried, even her frustrations about traffic. Her messages were full of energy, maybe emojis, maybe long paragraphs that showed you were part of her inner world. Now compare that to the present. Do her messages feel different, shorter, colder, sometimes delayed for hours when you know she's on her phone? Instead of, "Guess what happened today? You won't believe this," you're getting, "It was fine." Instead of a playful back and forth, you get one-word replies like, "Okay," or "Yeah." This shift might seem small, but it's huge. Why? Because emotional investment always reveals itself in communication. When someone cares deeply, they want to share themselves. They want to keep you updated, feel close, and bring you into their world. When that investment starts to fade, so does the effort behind their words. Psychologists call this emotional reciprocity. In healthy relationships, both people naturally match each other's energy in conversations. But when one person begins to check out emotionally, they no longer see the point in putting in that same energy. So the depth of their responses shrinks. Now, here's the tricky part. Most men misinterpret this. They either ignore it, thinking she's just busy, or they go to the other extreme, blowing up her phone with more texts, more calls, trying to force the connection back. But here's the thing. If she's pulling away, more pressure rarely brings her closer. In fact, it often pushes her further away. So what should you look for specifically? Watch the patterns. One short reply every now and then doesn't mean she's lost interest. But if the overall trend is less warmth, less detail, less initiative, that's a silent alarm bell. Especially if you notice she no longer starts the conversation herself. Remember, communication is more than just words. It's a reflection of where her heart is. If she once made you her safe space, but now her words feel obligatory, like she's just checking a box. It's not about the words, it's about the investment behind them. And if you notice this happening, don't rush to accuse, argue, or beg for attention. Instead, take a step back. Ask yourself, has something changed in her world that she's not sharing with me? Or has her investment in me, in us, genuinely dropped? That distinction is powerful. Because the sooner you see the truth behind her communication shifts, the sooner you can decide, do I work to reconnect, or do I accept that she's already halfway out the door? Another powerful but silent sign she's no longer invested in you is this. She stops caring about your opinion. Think back to the early days. She'd ask, do you like this dress? Or light up when you praised her new hairstyle. Your approval mattered. It wasn't vanity, it was emotional investment. When a woman is connected, she wants to feel seen and valued by you. But when the bond weakens, that spark fades. Suddenly, she doesn't care if you notice her promotion or her effort. She may still dress up or chase goals, but she's no longer looking to you for recognition. She's looking elsewhere. Friends, family, or sometimes other men. Psychology has a word for this: hypergamy. The tendency to seek validation and partnership from those we feel are worth investing in. When she's anchored to you, your opinion is everything. When she detaches, that anchor lifts. The shift is subtle. Your compliments bounce off, weekend plans are made without you, and your input no longer registers. That's not confidence, that's disconnection. And here's the danger: indifference. Because anger means she still feels. Indifference means she's already letting go. Physical intimacy is one of the clearest mirrors of a relationship's health. When a woman is emotionally invested, her body naturally leans toward closeness. Long hugs, playful touches, holding hands, leaning on you during a movie. Those weren't just habits. They were her body saying, I feel safe. I feel connected. But when her investment fades, the shift is unmistakable. Eye contact becomes brief, hugs lose their warmth, and affectionate touches turn into polite gestures. Maybe she pulls away when you reach for her, or excuses herself with, I'm tired. Over time, these small moments add up to a much larger truth. She's withdrawing physically because she's already withdrawing emotionally. Here's why it matters. Words can be faked. Someone can say, I love you, without feeling it. But body language rarely lies. Psychology shows that attraction is instinctive. It shows up in our pupils, in mirrored movements, in the way we crave touch. When those signals vanish, it's not random. It's disconnection. Yes, intimacy dips during stress or busy times. But if physical closeness consistently disappears, that's her subconscious telling you she's no longer invested. Words may mask it, but the body always reveals the truth. Another silent but powerful sign she's no longer invested is when everything you do suddenly seems to annoy her. Think back to the early days. Your quirks, jokes, or little habits were either cute or invisible. She overlooked them because her emotional bond with you was strong. But when that connection fades, the same behaviors that once made her smile now spark irritation. She sighs when you speak, criticizes how you do small tasks, or rolls her eyes at things she used to laugh at. This shift isn't about you suddenly changing. It's about her emotional filter. Psychologists call this the contrast effect. When we're connected, we interpret flaws through a positive lens. He's forgetful, but charming. But when the bond weakens, that flips. He's forgetful and it drives me crazy. Same behavior, different meaning. That's why you may feel like you can't do anything right around her anymore. It's not the dishes, the jokes, or the shoes by the door. It's the disconnection speaking. Here's the danger. Unchecked irritation often turns into contempt. And contempt, sarcasm, dismissiveness, eye rolls, is one of the strongest predictors of a breakup. When patience is replaced by constant criticism, it's a sign her heart is already drifting. One of the clearest and often final signs she's no longer invested is when she talks about the future. but you're not in it. In healthy relationships, couples naturally project forward. It starts small. We should try that new restaurant. Then it grows. When we travel to Europe, or when we get our dream house. These future projections aren't just plans. They're subconscious ways of saying, I see you with me long term. But when the bond fades, those projections change. Suddenly, the we becomes I. She says things like, next year, I really want to focus on myself. Or, I've been thinking about moving closer to work. Her goals, dreams, and visions no longer include you. At first, it may seem like independence, which is healthy. But there's a difference between independence and exclusion. A woman who still sees you as part of her story will phrase things as, I'd love your support. A woman mentally detaching says, this is where I'm going, with or without you. Psychology is simple here. People invest in what they expect to last. If she no longer imagines you in her future, it's only a matter of time before she stops investing in the present too. Here's the bottom line. Spotting these 5 silent signs isn't about begging, chasing, or bribing your way back into her heart. That only pushes her further away. Noticing these shifts early gives you clarity and a choice. Do you step up with confidence and boundaries to rebuild? Or step away before wasting more of your time and energy on someone already halfway out? The right woman won't leave you guessing if you're enough. She'll show you daily. Now it's your turn. Have you seen these signs? Share your story in the comments. I read them all.